everyone out there. I wanted to say peace to everyone. It's 2020, and as I told you before, in 2019 at the end, that I will be doing this series talking about politics. So, I want to talk about, as I stated before, the executive branch. I wanted to start off with the executive branch. And as you know, there are three branches of the government: legislative, executive, and judicial. And the executive branch is just one of the other checks and balances of our current U.S. government. So, executive branch, what does it do? The leading figure that we mostly see here in America of the executive branch is the president. So, what does the president do? What type of powers does he have? He basically carries out the laws that Congress and the legislative branch draws up or creates. He carries those laws out, or he rejects it. And this is known, if he rejects a bill, a piece of legislation, this action is called vetoing a bill, and that's basically rejecting a bill. Alright? Congress brings proposals, as I stated, bills, legislation, to the president to sign off on. In order for laws to be passed, for the most part, they have to be signed by the president. Okay? The president also has the authority to appoint federal posts, such as members of government agencies. He also appoints our chief justices for the judicial branch. Okay? So he appoints the federal judges as well. He grants pardons or forgiveness of crimes. He can also negotiate with foreign countries concerning treaties. So all of these things the president can do in the executive branch. These things are very important, and like I said, he's the face of our government for the most part. The term, if he's elected, is 4 years. You can go be re-elected and serve another term of 4 years, and that's your limitation. You can only serve 2 terms. In the past, they have had presidents that serve more than that, and we may have a chance to talk about that at a later date. I just wanted to give you the basics right now. The president also has a cabinet, and these cabinets consist of different government agencies and their leaders. And one thing that I found out about that I didn't know was this position called the president pro tempore. So, with the president in the executive branch, he's the figurehead. You have the president first. The structure is you have the president first, the vice president, and then you have this position called the president pro tempore. This is a position that was created, I believe, back in the 1700s. And this is the third post if something happens to the president. So as I stated, you have the president. If something happens to the president, the vice president will step up and take his post. if something happens to the vice president, this position that I found out about called the president pro tempore steps up and acts as president. After that, you then have the Secretary of State if something happens to the pro tempore, and then after that you have other cabinet members that may be elected if something happens to all of these positions. If something happens to the president, the vice president, the president pro tempore, the Secretary of State, then another cabinet member will be elected to act as president until things are back as normal. So I wanted this to be, like I said, just a brief overview of the executive branch, all of the things he can do. I didn't get into too much detail and get a lot in the weeds, but as we know, when we're learning about politics, if this is something that you want to do, you're going to have to research some of these things yourself. So I just want to strike that chord in you that may want you to guide you into learning more about politics. Research these different branches. Research your different local positions. Then you can know what's going on in your local government. But as the people, we have to learn about these different agencies and these different government officials that have an effect on our lives. The executive branch, judicial branch, legislative branch, they do have an effect on our lives, but our local government is really where we have to do a lot more research and know what's going on in our neighborhoods, our community, our state, and so on. So continue to research. Bring up some positions maybe that I hadn't talked about in this video. Leave a comment. If you have any questions, I want this to kind of like be a discussion. You know, like I said, I hadn't heard of this position called the president pro tempore before. And I always wonder, because I look at C-SPAN every once in a while, when they're doing their discussions before they vote, they always address this person as president. And I always say, why are they addressing this person as president? He's not the actual president. But I believe that president that they're talking about is the president pro tempore. And if that president pro tempore is not there, then another cabinet member, senator, not cabinet member, but another senator will be in his presence, will take his place if he's not able to preside over discussions before a vote. So like I said, when you start doing this research, you'll start to find out about different positions, different agencies that you may not have ever heard before. So like I said, continue to seek knowledge, wisdom, understanding, and it's really knowledge, understanding, and wisdom, as I was thinking about it today. To me, is in that order. And the more that we know, the more that we can pass along, the better that we can be in making decisions and helping each other. All right. Y'all have a good night, and I'll talk for y'all later. Peace.
While you talking about material worlds, pausing, writing, training, doing spiritual curls, get your mind right before things get